David Bethel.
How's everybody doing? That's good. So it's 2005. I'm 23 years old. I'm in my apartment watching TV, and I get a phone call from my mother who says a young lady contacted her and said she had my son. And he's 7 years old. I'm thinking to myself, how? And after 7 years old, after 7 years, well, I know how. But I'm thinking how. So, anyway, let me see. So at this time, I'm confused, I'm excited, and I'm scared. I'm confused because I'm thinking, how could I have a son after 7 years? I'm excited because I can have a son. I'm scared because it's another mouth out there looking up to me for everything. So I contact the young lady, she comes to my apartment, we talk, and I realize I could possibly be the father. But it's 2005 and I want a DNA test. So we jump in the car, we go to her house, and we pull up, and I see this little boy outside playing. I get out the car, and he looks just like me. And I'm thinking, wow. So he runs up to me and he says, "Are you my daddy?" And I say, "Yes." And he falls into my arms, and that's the happiest day of my life. One of the happiest days of my life. So the next several months went on smooth and everything was going great. I was seeing my son on a regular basis. I was working, taking care of business, paying bills, and all of a sudden I got laid off from my job. I lost my apartment, I lost my car, and I ended up moving in with a friend in Highland Park. Okay, I ended up moving in with a friend in Highland Park, Michigan, Rush City in the middle of Detroit. Now, it was a struggle. I was trying to find a job again. I didn't have a car, so I was on the bus. And to make a long story short, the next year, I got arrested for an old warrant, driving a suspended license. So I did 30 days in the county jail, but during this time, I met a young man who I used to go to school with. And he had an apartment in Southfield. He said I could move in with him. Now, my son moved to Southfield with my mother. He started going to school there, and I thought, this is great. I could be close to my son. I'll be in the area. So when I got out, I called my friend. We link up. I move in with him. Everything is going smooth. I'm seeing my son. I'm looking for a job. And I meet a young lady who stays in the apartment complex with him. And we click right away. You know, right. Everything's going smooth. You know. And we decided to move in together. So before we moved, I made one of the dumbest decisions I could have made. I stole a big screen TV from one of our old neighbors' house. And when we moved, I thought we was all free and clear, but one of the old neighbors saw what I did. He reported me to the police. And they came to my new apartment, and the police found the TV. They charged me with larceny in the building, my first felony. And because we lived in an apartment in Southfield, a distinguished area, they said because you have a felony, you can't stay in this apartment. So now I'm homeless, and I have a felony. So luckily, my brother had a house on the east side of Detroit. He said we could stay there for a week until we made further plans. So I said, okay, we move in, and I make another terrible decision. Before we leave, I make a copy of the house keys to my brother's house. So we move, and on those really cold nights, we lived out of her car in his house. Found out it's broke down, and we moved back in with my friend in Highland Park. I found a job at the Better Business Bureau as a sales consultant. So I'm doing well again. You know, I'm picking up my life, I'm working, I'm saving money, and I finally saved enough money for us moving to a new apartment in Southfield. Okay. Once again, everything's going well. I'm working, paying bills. Right. All of a sudden, I'm drinking, I'm smoking weed every day, I'm popping ecstasy pills like crazy. It's the mess, man. And I ended up losing my job for being irresponsible. Now, my girlfriend at the time was 19, I was 25 at the time. This is 2007. And she's thinking, how could I be with somebody so irresponsible? He's an older man, you know. And I'm thinking, I know. So, to make matters worse, a couple months down the line, we found out she's pregnant. So now I have a felony. I lose my job in my new apartment, so I'm homeless again. And my girlfriend is pregnant. And I got a son that I rarely see now because I'm in the streets and I'm hanging out and doing me. And let me see. So we moved to a motel. We're in the motel, and she's depressed, she's discouraged, she's looking at me for everything, and I'm on my knuckles. I'm thinking, you know, what can I do? So I get tired. I'm tired of working. I'm tired of being disappointed. So I started hitting the licks. I started robbing places. I started robbing gas stations, 7-Elevens, anywhere I can go to get some money to feed my family. That's what I did. So on July 30th, 2007, everything came to an end. An old hotel I used to work at, the Red Roof Inn in Southfield. I don't know if any of y'all familiar. I used to work there. I decided to go up there and I called my girlfriend. I tell her what I plan to do. And she says, no, I already have money. We have enough money, they'll do it. But I wanted more. So I rent in the hotel, I rob them, I leave. I go home, and I realize I didn't even have no mask on. This is how I was. This is how out of it I was. So from that day on, I knew I was on the run. So, I'm on the run. So, wow. So I go to another motel with my girl. We check in. We thinking everything is cool. They do a background check. To be honest with me, I didn't even know. And that was August 9th, 2007. I'm in the motel getting ready to watch the Lions preseason game. Drinking a 40, smoking a blunt. And I see a big light in the window. I look out the window, we got you surrounded, come out with your hands up. I get a phone call on my phone, I'm private, I answer the phone. It's my mother, the police looking for you. I don't know what's going on. I think somebody set me up, I don't know what's going on. So, I open the door, and when I open the door, they tackle me to the ground, they say, get on the ground, we got you. They handcuffed me, my girl's crying, she's going hysterical, don't take him, don't take him. So they took me in, I went to the county jail, and I found out my charge carries 20 years to life. I'm on felony probation for larceny in the building, which I'm not abiding to, and now I have a charge for armed robbery on me. So I go to court, and they offer me 13 to 20 years. I said, no, I can't do 13 years. My father, he couldn't do it either. He was like, no, man. So I go to court again, and the judge pleads it down. My mother, the grace of God, she had a lot of church friends and people right on my behalf, telling them that I was good. You know, I made some terrible decisions, mistakes, but I'm good. You know, I always had a job, always was focused. I just got to a point in my life where it got too rough. So they offered me 4.5 to 20 years. So that's what I took, 4.5 to 20 years. I went to Jackson for quarantine maybe 3 weeks later. And I'm in Jackson, fighting, arguing, going crazy. I don't know what prison's like. This is just the beginning. I'm thinking, wow. So they sent me off to my first prison. And the first year or two was very hard. I was fighting a lot, arguing, getting into it with the COs, because I was just upset. I missed my son's birth, both of them. I made all these terrible decisions, and I came from a good family. Both of my parents are pastors. You know, I was raised in the church, I was raised in a middle-class home, and it shouldn't have been me. But it was, due to decisions that you make. So, I'm in prison, and I'm talking to one of the lifers, and he's telling me, listen, man, this ain't the way to go. You got a good head on your shoulders. Go to school while you're here. Go to groups. Do something positive with your life so when you get out, you can be about something for your kids. So that's what I do. I spend the next 3 years. I go to school for business, education, technology. I get certified. I'm going to anger management classes, therapy classes, and I'm getting certificates left and right. Thank you. I finally come up with a plan for my life. I'm going to go back to school, to go to barber school. I'm going to go to massage therapy school, to open up my own spa, because I was cutting hair in the prison. I was cutting my own hair also. And I was thinking, this is what I'm going to do. So 3 months later, I get my parole. After 5 years, I served the extra year because of all that bad behavior the first 2 years. After 5.5 years, I finally got out of prison. This was last year, November 14, 2012. So I get out, and my sister's boyfriend hooked me up with a program called Access. And through there, they give you training for 4 weeks, and they give you scholarship for school, and they also find you a job. So that's the program I'm in now. And I still plan on going to school for barber school, massage therapy, but I have a plan for my life. I'm reconnected to my parents, I'm back with God, I'm feeling good about myself, positive, no longer on the streets. I'm reconnected with my children. My oldest son's 15 now. My youngest son's 5. I didn't even meet him till I got out of prison. So we reconnected, and I just want everybody to know that anything is possible if you put God first. And we all make mistakes, but it's how you recover in life. It's what you do after those mistakes, the decisions that you make that can decide your future. So I just want everybody to be encouraged, and thanks for listening to my story.